Well, welcome everyone to the Gen 224 Marriage Podcast. We are Larry and Sue Pruitt. We are your hosts, and we are here to help married entrepreneurs grow their dream business
without wrecking their marriage.
Very important, right?
Yes.
Well, welcome to this episode. This is episode number 17, and we are making some great progress on this, right?
We are, and it's number 2 on YouTube.
That's right.
I
That's
mean,
right.
we might add, well, yeah.
Yes.
It's the second video when we've done.
That's right.
I don't know why I make it complicated.
That's fine. And we are having fun doing this.
We are.
This is a lot of fun for
I
us
hope it's obvious.
to talk about marriage and entrepreneurship and the combination of these things. And this episode, I think, is going to be a lot of fun.
I think so too.
Yep. So the topic, kind of the title today, is how would you define entrepreneurship in one action, one thing, right?
Yeah, as we've been entrepreneurs for, full-time entrepreneurs for 12 years now.
Right.
And
entrepreneurs are a little bit different sometimes.
A little bit.
In a good way.
And there's things that some people think that we do. Have you seen those memes, where it's like what other people think I do, what my mom thinks I do, what my teacher thinks I do, what I actually
do. Yeah.
So there's some things that fall in some of those different categories.
And honestly, we do all those things at different times.
We do.
Maybe not what my mom thinks we do, because she's probably thinking,
yes,
I don't know.
She's giving you superhero status.
Yes.
In a good way.
That's right. But so anyway, here's one of the first things that we did today.
Yeah.
And that was, we play on the Wii this afternoon with a couple of our kids.
That's a video game. If there's somebody watching this in the future and they're like, what is a Wii? Yeah.
Well, it's an old game system that we got for our kids years ago. And then as they got older, they wanted a new one because that one had died. And we had to buy a new one to us, a used one, because they don't make them anymore.
No.
But
that was a lot of detail, a lot of background, but that's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Now you know the details.
But why did we do that today?
Well, we had some time to do it. We had some freedom. Our oldest son came over for a visit,
right?
Which is rare.
Yes.
And he hung out for a little while. And that's one of the things we do when the kids come over and hang out.
Yeah. We had like an hour, and not that we didn't have a million things that we needed to be doing and everything.
Right. But we had the time freedom to do that, take that little hour out and spend time with our son and connect.
So that's kind of like what people think of entrepreneurs a lot of times, is that you've got all this free time, and if they need somebody to take them to the airport, or if they need something, done in the middle of the day on a weekday, it's like, you don't have a job. Why are you coming out? Like, well, I'm going to miss out on my time playing on the Wii. What you want to say, but you can't really say that.
That's usually not true.
Right. But that kind of, in some people's definition, that defines entrepreneurship in one action. But then,
so there's other things too. Like, for example, last Saturday morning.
Yes. When I had a business call that I took at 5:30 in the morning, a.m. in the morning. I don't like morning on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And then the call, I thought it was going to be 15 minutes and I was going to go back to sleep. And it took like at least an hour. And then I was kind of like running through everything in my mind. And I just went ahead and just got up.
Which is I didn't know that you knew that there was a 5:30 a.m.
Not on a Saturday, especially. Let's be honest, on any day of the week, I didn't know that it existed. So yeah, that kind of talks to, as an entrepreneurship, you kind of do what you got to do, right?
You learn how to be flexible.
Yes.
You pivot when it's needed.
Yes.
You make yourself available at odd times sometimes. Yeah. You don't do that every day, for sure.
I can pretty much say that's the first time I did that. I mean, I've done, like on days where we play on the Wii in the afternoon because there was an opportunity. I may still be working at 11 o'clock at night that night to make up for it.
Right.
Or if not that day, I may, work quite a bit extra on a Saturday or something like that to kind of make up for it. So
could happen.
So yeah, I think that the 5:30 a.m. really talks to like the commitment
Yes.
that we have to kind of do whatever is necessary to make this business take off. And it depends on the size of the business, obviously,
Sure.
as well. And as you grow a business, we've had times where we have outsourced a lot of things. This was just happened to be a particular thing that I was really the only person who could do it. And that time was the time that the other person could meet.
Yeah.
Time zone differences and various things. And so you do what you got to do.
Absolutely.
So that's a couple of examples so far.
Yes. And then sometimes you do a little bit of scrambling around at the last minute. And maybe like right before you go live or something.
Yes, that's a good example. Yeah, because just recently we had a live that we had planned, we had scheduled. And I think it was 10 or 12 minutes beforehand that we were still trying to figure out what our message was. I mean, we had all these notes, all these ideas, all these thoughts, but then it's like, what exact direction are we going here? It's like, well, I got to get this straight in my mind before we go live here. And sometimes it's not the message though. Sometimes it's the technology.
I don't do anything with the technology because technology knows it's me and it acts up when it's me. So you take care of that.
Well, when I'm here, but you have done many webinars where you've been hosting on your own and you figured it out
most of the time.
Come on, take credit.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was even just that's a little bit of a rabbit trail, but going down that, you know, some of those embarrassing things you've done, it's just like I'm hosting a webinar and the person who is co-hosting it with me or whatever, they're going to be doing the teaching training and I can't hear them and I'm checking all my settings. I'm like, oh, I just have the volume turned down. It's
Thank
muted.
you for acting like that was you and not me.
No, I've done it too.
Oh, have you?
I've done it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, that happened to me once. That was so embarrassing.
So we have to be, as you said earlier, we have to be flexible. We have to pivot frequently as business owners because sometimes we want to make changes and sometimes because of circumstances around us, something changes around us and we've got to rapidly pivot and figure things out. We've got to problem solve for sure.
Yeah.
And so
absolutely.
Sometimes we could prepare a little bit better at a time, but that's beside the point, right?
There's so much thinking involved and, you know.
Yes.
We're still thinking right at the last minute. So we're still making adjustments sometimes.
Right. Finishing touches, as you said. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And so, and that next one that's on our list, this one here, I think maybe summarized being an entrepreneur in one action better than just about anything else that I remember. And that was the time that I filled out a government form, a mandated government form while I was doing a breathing treatment.
Yes. So you were sick.
Yes.
You had been struggling a little bit with the illness and doing a breathing treatment.
I have asthma. And so I kind of know the warning signs now, like this is kind of getting, you know, this congestion is kind of getting bad. I should probably get out our nebulizer and do a breathing treatment. And so I did that. And I don't know why, but I thought, well, I've got a couple of minutes here.
I got like 10 minutes where I can't move around and do anything else. So
what else am I going to do? There's this thing that's kind of hanging over my head that has been bothering me it bothers me that I have to do it. But, you know, that's beside the point for the moment, right? But it's like, I've got to do this. Again, I could probably have outsourced that to somebody, but it really did not take me that long.
No,
it didn't even take me the full breathing.
There were some things on there that probably you were the only one who knew. So
yes.
Yeah.
That's I'm sure that is true.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I just got my laptop and I just had my little mask on, and with the other hand, I was able to type things in that I needed to type in, and
so you were using your time efficiently.
Yes.
You had the obstacle of being ill and needing a breathing treatment, and yet you still accomplished something that the business needed.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
We don't get paid for sick
There's a little superhero thing that you did. I like it.
Yeah. And when you don't get paid for sick days, I mean, there's days where we just have to like
Yeah.
say like, I'm just in bed today because I need to. But then there's times where you just power through,
Yeah.
right?
Fortunately, it's not that often.
No,
And we're grateful for that.
no,
But
absolutely. So I think that kind of summarized entrepreneurship pretty well, right?
yes. I think another thing that we have experienced since we became full-time entrepreneurs that we weren't able to do when you were on the day job was that sometimes our dates are lunch dates.
Yes, that's true, right? Because well, it also helps that our kids are older now.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yes.
so we don't have to go through all the process of getting babysitter. But yeah, I mean, we can just say, how about lunch today?
Mm-hmm.
And those lunch dates are normally kind of have the dual thing going on, though,
Yes.
right?
Because we do usually have a business meeting at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
Whether it's not always officially a business meeting, but
No.
we do talk business on our dates sometimes.
Yeah. Which that, that kind of leads into that point. Like we talk about, we are integrated
Yes.
and we are a married couple working together. And so we say everything is on
Yes.
the table, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. We can talk about whatever needs to be talked about today.
Other couples will set boundaries and say, no business talk right now.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
perfectly fine if you need to do that as well. But
yep.
but yeah.
So that's another thing that looks very different because now we're entrepreneurs and we've been able to do that. And sometimes we used to have that scheduled like the same day
yes.
every week. That worked for a
Yes.
while. Then it got to where, that has gotten kind of hard to do. So now we do it a little bit more flexible when we can. And I don't know, in the near future, we might bring it back to, we'll do it the same day every week.
Yeah. And now sometimes our lunch dates are going to see what leftovers we've because we work from our home.
Yeah.
And so
we're at
that
home all
works
the
well.
time now. So.
Yeah. So those are just a handful of things that kind of came to mind quickly that we have done. And I know that there's a lot of other things that we've done that would kind of define really what entrepreneurship is. But I would love to hear what they have to say.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. I want to hear from you guys what you think demonstrates or shows entrepreneurship in one action. What are some things that you do that are unique because you're an entrepreneur? Yeah, that'll be fun. We will look forward to seeing those comments that you can put on whatever platform that you're listening to this or watching this, or you can also go out to our Facebook page, which is Gen 224 Marriage. And you can, possibly, we have to put a post out there in that regard. So that way people can comment on that. So, all right. Anything else that you want to add here? I don't think so. I mean, I think we kind of demonstrate all the things, what people think we do and all that kind of thing. And all of it is stuff that we really do. Yes, it is. It is for sure. So this is kind of keep this one a little bit short and just kind of fun. But we do hope that along the way here, you found a little bit of encouragement from this as well as you continue on your journey. And we just want to encourage everybody to continue to work at your marriage and to become one flesh today, tomorrow, forever. Take care. See ya.